I love it. Okay, cool.
All
Let's get
right, let's dive in.
let's dive in. We need a tagline. Every time we start, we're like, "Hi, let's go.
I
Welcome to
know.
Nothing Matters." We need something cool and catchy.
I feel like we need a name for our listeners. Then it's
What do you mean?
like you know how people okay, so like there's a podcast called Giggly Squad, so they call their listeners the Gigglers
Oh,
or the Toasters,
I like that.
you know?
Mhm.
Like who are our people?
Who are our people?
You don't matter. All of you that don't matter.
Oh my God. All right, we'll have to like
Well,
put a
we should
or
clip
something
this
that
and
makes it
post it on
scary.
social media and be like, what should we call you guys?
Yes. Yes.
Who do you identify as?
Okay, I'm making a note. Okay, I like it.
Write it down, baby.
All right. Well, we're gonna really get started this time because
Okay.
we're going. We're going.
And action. Welcome back to myself.
We're back for the second time because we've already recorded this, but we suck, so we're back again.
Yeah, it's like a podcaster's worst nightmare, I feel. I mean, it wasn't as bad as like us recording it and then realizing we didn't hit record because I feel like that is the worst
Mhm.
nightmare.
Yeah.
But we've had trouble, as you know.
I'm going to put this out there for anyone listening. If you are looking for an internship or a not paid job,
Yeah.
I will beef you up. I can write really good recommendation letters. So that is actually something. We are looking for a Gen Z correspondent to
Mm.
do our social and our, what is this called? Tech.
Tech. We need an AV person.
So if you're looking for something, we need help.
Yeah.
Okay. We're looking
Or
for you.
maybe we could like trade services.
I have nothing to give, but you do.
That's not true. What if they have children that need tutoring?
Oh, that's true. That is true.
What
I'm
if
willing
you
to
want a
partner.
personal trainer? I don't really do that anymore, but I would do it for the sake of the show. It's still
I love
certified.
this. Yes. So hit us up, DM us. We're waiting for you.
Hmm. Anyways, how you doing, Caitlin?
I'm doing good. I'm obviously writing notes, but I wish I had my big post-its. I only have the small ones today. I'm doing good. Just coming back from a little gals trip with my besties and my Annie Banani. And I
So
was just
lovely.
telling Amanda that I should have married a woman because women are so helpful. So it was really nice. We went to the Cape for a couple days, and now Annie's in daycare today, so I can like unpack and went grocery shopping. Um, yeah, so I'm doing good. How
That's
you doing?
amazing. I feel like that's something we don't talk about enough is the fact that like besides giving us children, like men are quite irrelevant.
Yes.
Sad to say, coming off my honeymoon, love him dearly, but I think we would all be our happiest if we just like had a commune with the gal pals.
Yeah. I
It's
was
the
telling
vibe.
Chad that this morning too. I was like, you're just so helpful. And we were talking about this whole like idea of the village that we always talk
Mm.
about. And he made a good point. He was like, well, I honestly think that a lot of like gender roles are changing and they should, but that's why you don't like live with like your mom and your mom's mom and your mom's mom's mom because like they're working, they're like
Yeah,
climbing
that's so
the ladder
true.
and stuff. And I was like, I wonder, maybe that's it. But
God, it all comes back to capitalism.
seriously, just
Just fucking
oh
us over.
my gosh. How are you doing?
I am good. I feel
Yeah.
like maybe it's better that we're re-recording this. One, because we talked for like almost an hour and a half, and no one cares about my honeymoon that much, except for me. And two, because I was so toxically positive when we
Ooh.
were recording that episode. I was like,
Whoa, she's back.
I am a new woman and I am refreshed and relaxed. And let me tell you, I am neither of those things anymore.
Mm,
I caught a cold, like definitely on the plane, probably.
yeah.
And it hit me like a ton of bricks by Friday night after you left. Like, literally, I'm like cooking dinner and I start seeing spots, like, feel like I'm about to pass out. And I just like melt down to the floor, like, I'm just gonna
Oh,
sit down for a minute.
damn.
And I got my tissues. Got some cough drops on deck. But I'm feeling better. So now I'm doing better. But
Now
this will
you're just
be a
real.
much more real perspective of my honeymoon.
I love it. So, yeah, we're going to be diving into Mandy's honeymoon today and just catching up with you. So, I think it'll be a nice, easy breezy listen.
Yeah, love it.
Yes.
Positive, but now more realistic
Mm.
vibes.
Um,
And we're not doing Rose and Thorn anymore.
yeah, so big news. New
Rose and
Year's
Thorn is out.
Rosendorn is out because we need a refresh. We were feeling like we were just kind of giving you a rundown of how our life was when it came to Rosendorn, and we weren't really, I don't know, it wasn't
Which we
valuable.
already do anyways. So then it
Yeah.
was like an hour long segment before we even got to like the actual episode.
Yes. So on my way to Amanda's house, like right before we recorded this episode the first time, I had this great idea to think about something that her and I had on our mind individually that we were kind of ruminating on or was bothering us, or we were just like curious as to how like someone else would respond to the situation. And so then I termed this idea judge me. And
Mm.
so the idea behind this is that we are going to talk about something that's on our mind that we have done or been a part of, and then the other person is going to judge us for it. And I said, man, you have to be real. This isn't about being nice. This isn't about being like a
Because you
nice,
know
good
me. I'm
friend.
like, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. And she's
not a
like, I don't know if I can
problem. You're
do that.
doing great.
Yeah. But it's just to be a real like piece of advice and to better ourselves. And yeah. So we're gonna start that today
Mm.
and we'll put it on the our Instagram so that you can kind of like learn more and see more, but something new, changing it up.
Yeah. I think this is your way of forcing me to stop being a people pleaser and to like give you real feedback.
And my way to get my anxious ruminating thoughts off of my own head.
Yeah.
So
But
there we
I
go.
feel like this would be a fun one for people to write in about also, like
Yeah.
what things are on your mind. So,
Mm-hmm.
if you want to, send us a DM on Instagram or you could email us at literally nothing matters
Pod.
pod
Yeah.
at gmail.com.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All anonymous.
Yeah.
So do you want to get started with your judge me or do you want me to do mine first?
I'll go.
Go for it.
So obviously coming off the heels of traveling with my hubby for 2 weeks, and we have been together coming up on 5 years. So like a solid chunk of time. However, I would love to know the people's thoughts on like how you and your partner dance around the topic of taking duties. And especially while you're traveling, like I feel like this can be a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Like my big tips and tricks for traveling are like time it out, drink a coffee, and then like you take a shower. While the shower's running, they can't hear anything. You're gonna smell the shower up nice with some soap. That's the perfect time.
Yeah.
Um, but it
However,
was
we don't live in Barbie land. Sometimes you cannot control those things.
we do not live in Barbie land, unfortunately. And so I was in an Airbnb with like four other people, whatever, for the first part of the trip, which also proved to be a challenge when needing to go. And then in our hotel in Paris, the bathroom setup was so freaking bizarre. And there was a toilet room right next to like the front door, but like also just feet away from the bed, like it was a small hotel room. And then the shower was in a separate area that was also only just closed off with a curtain that you had to like pull open and close. um, so that one was a little tougher. So my tip and trick there was when Mark was in the shower, I would race over to the toilet room
Yeah.
and do my business while he was distracted. But I would
Oh,
love to
for sure.
hear the people's thoughts.
Yeah.
Or do you and Chad talk about the duties?
Yeah, we definitely talk about it, but like there's a very big boundary. Like I do
Mm.
not want you, I don't want the door open. I don't want you to
Oh,
see me
no.
pooping. Like we like hearing someone poop is like a no for me. Like
Okay,
no.
thank you.
Yeah. But it's hard. I mean, I
You guys have
get
been together for a long time,
we have been together for a long time. I think we've
so I
been
appreciate
together
that boundary.
since I was 18 and I'm 32 now. So someone do the math for me. I don't
Yeah.
know. But yeah, there are definitely healthy boundaries. And I would say keep a boundary. Cause like
Some
after
things
that,
shall remain a mystery.
yeah, yeah. There's situations where I feel like you can just kind of like after I had Annie, when you're it's like you can't
Oh my
leave the
God, yeah.
hospital until you like pass gas or whatever, that you're like, all right,
Mm,
I gotta try to fart. But
stop.
that is not the daily living in the Osborne house.
Yeah.
So yeah, we try to keep boundaries. If like one of us downstairs go upstairs, like, and I'm also
Mm,
even with my girlfriends, like if they come over and they don't tell me they have to poop, I get like mad. I'm like, you had to poop and now my bathroom smells bad. You should have gone upstairs. You should have told me this and gone upstairs.
yes.
Obviously, a little bit of a different circumstance, but yeah, if you really have to go, the situation's weird. Just say, you know, I really gotta go to the bathroom. Like, make it a conversation
Mm,
so that you can both kind of work together to solve it.
mm. Yeah, I feel like it's a certain line that you have to toe
Mhm.
because you don't want your partner to be like so weird about it that they're like a jerk to you. Like no one should make you feel like ashamed
Yeah.
if like imagine you're sick and there's
Oh,
no
yeah.
hiding it. It's like this is a scenario that like we're gonna
Been
laugh at
through.
later or also maybe just pretend like it never happened, but like
Yes.
you need to be a supportive partner right now and not
Yeah.
make me feel grosser than I feel. Like
Mhm.
that is real. And I feel like that's telling of like an immature man or like the first time you toot in front of a partner. Like
Mhm.
we can giggle about it, but like if you actually make me feel bad, get
Yeah.
lost.
What do you call farts toots?
Um, sometimes toots. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
toots is the main word. My grandma always called them like, oh, the dog just fluffed or something like that.
Yes. I was just going to say,
And
because I was having this conversation with Alex and Taylor, and they used the word fluff too. And I was like, what the fuck is a fluff?
the only person I've ever heard call it that is my grandmother, but fondly.
It's an
Yeah.
interesting conversation. I want to know, what do the people call farts? Because fart is like, ugh. But
Yeah.
like with Annie, we say toot. Because
It's a
like that's
two.
a little toot, even though her toots are big. I'm like,
Yeah.
girlfriend,
You're like, are you
in
okay?
there.
She likes her food.
Oh my God. Okay, cool.
Anywho, I'm glad I
Anywho,
got that off my chest.
glad I got her just. My judge me is that I am trying to find a balance between my life in all areas. And I've been finding that I feel better when I don't have my phone on me throughout
Mhm.
like the day or during times when I'm with Annie. Like it is a big, big pet peeve of mine when I see either parents or even like caretakers or even like anyone that a child is trying to communicate with and someone is on their phone and not paying attention to them. It like really for some reason grinds my gears. I feel like it is just like so insensitive to a
Yeah.
kid who's trying to like learn life. It's like, oh, this phone's
And
more
they
important.
notice more, I think, than we give them credit for.
Yeah, I mean, Annie knows that this phone is my phone and the black phone is her dad's phone.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
crazy.
it's crazy. She knows how to like turn phones on and everything. And like we aren't even big phone people. And I think it makes a really big impact on their development. So, anyways, my judge me is that now that I kind of like make that known, I try to keep my phone away from me for like, I don't know, half the day. I miss a lot of text messages or people trying to get in touch with me. And I feel like the way our society is now, whether it be friends or family, it's kind of like that instant get back to me. And sometimes you can like build your friendships up over text messages. And I've been feeling lately like I'm kind of falling short of a friend will text me, or even like my sister-in-law texted me today and was like, oh, I just booked out of Tash for the weekend you are. And like I was doing the dishes or something and I didn't see it for an hour later. And I'm like, oh my God, she's gonna think I'm not excited, or like or I can't like do that back and forth thing because I feel like now she's probably doing something. And so I guess my question to the audience is like, is that rude not to get back to someone right away? Or are we trying to be healthy? Like, but realistically, a lot of friendships, like, I don't see a lot of my friends. I like text them more than I see them.
Hmm.
So it's like, how do you keep that relationship alive without having face to face daily conversations? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, so difficult. And I feel like I relate to this so hard, and I don't even have a child. Just like
Yeah.
as my anxiety gets worse, the likelihood that I'm going to answer to your text within a 24-hour period goes way down. But
Yeah.
like, I also feel like it is what you said, that society, or just our like addiction to technology has made us all like too accessible, where it's changed the expectations on us, where like I don't think that it's like a super healthy expectation that all of us should be available to everyone at all times. Like, I don't think that's very healthy.
Yeah.
But I totally also get what you mean of like not wanting to come off as like you're not engaged in what like your friends are telling to you. But I feel like adult friendships, and we are going to do an episode on this, so I feel like we can dig deeper into these like expectations on friendships. But like adult friendships should have realistic expectations. I feel like yeah, you might not text people back within 1 hour's time, but you are a reliable friend and you're there for them in other ways. When you're with them in person, you're really present with them, and like that time is quality time. So I feel like that's not the end all be all.
Okay.
And
All
I
right.
feel like communicate with your friends about it. Like, hey, listen, like realistically, my phone is not on me often, and like I don't want it to be. So like if it's important, try to call me and like I'll hear it go off, or just know like it's not personal.
Yeah. I think that's what it is. It's like I don't want people thinking it's like a personal, like I choose this over that, or
Mm.
like I don't want to be having a fun conversation with you. It's just like girl has 2 seconds to pee every day. Like, oh,
Yeah. And people should understand that. I
yeah.
think if they don't, then like, ugh,
Yeah. Okay.
ugh.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, you're doing great.
Doing great. All right, let's get into the beef of the matter. Your honeymoon. What fights did you get into? How much? No.
We actually filed for a divorce the moment we touched down in America.
So I'll let you kind of lead the way. Do you want to talk about where you went, what you did? I want to hear about your outfits because you were trendy AF, and I was like stalking your
Yeah.
Instagram hoping you would put more up because I was obsessed with your cute little 90s getup.
Oh my
Um,
God, thank you.
yeah,
Wow.
give us the deets.
Yeah, I feel like talking about the phones, I tried to like not be on my phone that much. Like I took a lot of pictures, but I wasn't really like posting anything in real time to my stories. Like at night, I kind of would go through, or we were like sitting down somewhere. I'd be like, ooh, okay, I want to throw up a few of these. But I
Mhm.
kind of just like wanted to be like as present as possible. But okay, let's start. We started with Christmas in Berlin, which wasn't technically part of the honeymoon, but Mark's older brother lives in Berlin. He's lived there for like 10 years. He moved over there as an architect, and now he is an artiste, and like
Honey.
he has it figured out. Like I feel like he is doing something right. It's funny because I feel like I don't like throw anyone under the bus, but like older members of the family sometimes will like say bullshit of like, "Oh, when is he gonna grow up and get his life together?" And like people will literally say that about like
Me.
Mark and like his like Mustang. And
Yeah.
they're like, he's married now. He should get rid of his Mustang. Like, yeah, you gotta get rid of your hobbies once you
Yeah.
get married. But I'm like, what do you mean? Like, yeah, he's not married with children, but like he has built such a cool life for himself over there, and like is doing stuff and like seeing the world in ways that like we all only dream about, you know? So
Mhm.
I
His
digress.
quality of life is probably so much better than the traditional like American standard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I feel like seeing the city kind of like through him was a really good way to like kick off the trip because it kind of like set the tone in a really nice way. So actually I'm drinking from one of my mugs from it right now. Look how adorable. Little Christmas,
Ooh.
guys. It also has like a little Christmas bear with a Christmas tree on the inside.
Oh, that's
Um, because we went to a handful of Christmas markets. Christmas markets aplenty in Germany.
adorable.
Like, definitely should be a bucket list item for people. Um, with lots of Glühwein, which is that like mulled wine. So you like give them, I don't know, a handful of euros, and then if you return the mug, you get like half of it back. But I wanted to keep one for the mems.
Oh.
So I had all the Glühwein my heart could ever desire, especially because it's freaking cold there. So you want like a warm beverage to hold on to. Nutella waffles, like all the yummy treats. Treats aplenty. And that was just like very fun, quintessential kind of Christmas experience, I feel like. And I had a couple of haters,
Ooh.
negative Nellies, who when I told them
What's
that I
their
was
name?
going,
Where did they live?
yeah, right. So their first and last name is their lifetime membership number is um no, just like kind of people being negative, being like, you're going to Germany and you're going to Berlin. Ew, like it's such an ugly city. That's not even Germany. And seeing the city with Kevin, like he is an artist, so he's very in the art scene. So we got to see his studio where he works at, and um, he took us to a bunch of galleries, like a handful of galleries, and one really cool one that was in a bunker from the war, which was like really crazy because they tried to keep it as close to like the original as possible. Um, but like seeing it in, I don't remember where my thought was going at all. It's gone.
Where did you go? Come back.
Come back to me. But anyways, yeah, like seeing the city in that way, which was really nice. And we also went to dinner at his girlfriend's parents'
Mhm.
house in, oh, this is what's happening. Okay, it's all percolating. Let me have another sip of my coffee and maybe it'll fully
Yes.
get there. All right, thought formed.
Here it is.
Um, no, I feel like, yeah, you could look at the city and be like, yeah, it's gray and it's dirty and like maybe not like Germany, but they had like the coolest like street art, which is really a thing. Like it's not just like, oh, that building's graffitied. Like there are famous street artists that like no one knows their identity, but they're like super famous anyways, like
Mhm.
crazy stuff. So kind of like seeing some of like what the city really is was kind of cool. So like don't judge a book by its cover.
Mhm.
And then like being with his girlfriend's parents at their house was so cool. One, to like see how people actually live, but also hearing their experience of like moving to Berlin and like what the city really meant at that time. Like they were there before the Berlin Wall came down, which is crazy. So cool. And it was such a place of escape during like the world wars. So like their club scene is crazy, which I did not partake in because like
Cool.
I am tired. But I did go to a couple of bars.
Wow, she's crazy.
Wow. One thing I will say though,
Mm.
the cigarettes.
Oh,
Like cigarettes are still very much in
yeah.
Europe. Lots
Yeah.
of
She was
vaping
rolling
too.
hers on her own by the end of this trip for
Oh
sure.
yeah. And like yeah, no, that's what people do. Like people like buy the
Yeah.
tobacco and then like roll their own cigarettes. So like you look around and you think people are like just all smoking a bunch of doobies, like they're not cigarettes.
Ugh,
Um
hate it.
yeah, gross. Like but also, why do you look chic still? Like I know this is gross and I'm grossed out by you, but also
Yeah,
why do you
of
look
course.
cool?
Because they're not American. Yeah.
Yeah. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
also hilarious, like the amount of people that like legit are sitting outside a cafe at breakfast, just having like a cigarette and a coffee for breakfast. Like,
Jen, that is like bleh city.
Yeah, real gross. And like it was like the 90s. You can smoke inside the bars.
Crazy. Do you remember that
So,
back when we were children to be like, do you want
yes.
the smoking section or the non-smoking? And I was like,
Yes.
please, mom, non-smoking. Side
Yeah.
note, my mom still smokes cigarettes, and I'm like, how?
Oh yeah, I'm like,
Yeah,
ooh, it feels like being at grandpa's house. Memories.
nostalgia.
Yeah. So I will say, travel tip there is bring Febreze fabric spray. They sell travel size of it, and I sprayed my coat down. I also just got it back from the dry cleaners. I'm like, thank God that it got that smell out. But the Febreze spray really did help.
Okay.
And then the first, like in Berlin, we stayed in an Airbnb. They do not have dryers there at all, but it had a washer, and that was huge in terms of
Indeed.
cleansing of the smoke smell and making sure I had enough clothes to last me the rest of the
Okay.
time. Um, okay, a couple other takeaways from Berlin.
Okay.
I need to become a minimalist.
Yes, that's like my life goal.
Yeah,
Seriously.
and it's not in the way of like the sad beige mom here
No.
in the US. Like
Yeah.
they, I mean, I went to three people's apartments and they all probably are very similar. It was Mark's brother, Mark's brother's
Mhm.
girlfriend, and her parents.
Okay.
But none of them had televisions.
Hmm.
Maybe her parents did, but I don't think so. Because that's like not really a part of their routine.
I'm
Like
like not into TV. Are you a TV person?
I mean, like, I am because I'm like coming less and less of one.
Okay.
Like, I feel like I use it as a little bit of a crutch to make sure no original thoughts go through my brain. Like, I'll have the TV on at all times, so I never have to listen to one of my thoughts.
Okay. Even though you
But
do, and then you're just overstimulated and you're like, what's wrong with me?
yeah, I'm like, why am I stressed? Why is that twitching?
Yeah.
But I've been doing that less,
Mhm.
so go me.
Okay.
Um, and like, of course, when you're living in an apartment, everything is smaller. You just will collect less things. But like, even think about like your kitchen. Like, how many random gadgets do you have? Like, even coming off the wedding registry,
So,
I'm kicking myself for registering for any of this crap.
yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for sending me gifts. Love them. However, it's like, and then you're just required, oh, we need more cabinets. We need a bigger kitchen. We
Yes. Yes,
to hold
honey.
all this crap we don't ever use except for maybe once a year.
Hmm.
Like, they just like had what they need and like the feeling of peace in their apartments
Yeah.
unmatched. So
Okay.
we should be doing that. Okay, and then from there on Christmas Day, we took a 8-hour train ride from Berlin to Zurich, which was lovely. It was not the train ride that I saw on TikTok of going through the mountains and the snow-covered mountain
Oh
caps, and
my
it's
God.
magical. Like, don't get it twisted, it was not that. Um, However, it was comfortable as hell. And we
Okay.
rode first class because first class isn't like first
Because you're
class on an airplane. Yeah, because like we are
rich.
billionaires. I actually married Elon Musk.
Yeah. If you didn't know.
Um, ew. No, it's just like affordable and accessible, but you have more space, you're comfortable. Like, if we had the train system that they have there, we would all see the country and travel everywhere because it was so easy, so affordable, and the train system here is a bunch of crap.
So gross. It's actually
So
trash.
gross. Like, I'm pretty sure our 8-hour train for the two of us was less than like one train ticket to New York City on the Amtrak. Like,
That's crazy.
it's crazy. I mean, like, literally, I'm just like throwing out
Yeah.
numbers in my head. Like, that's
I'm
probably
making up
false.
things right now, but it's
But
real.
you're not here for facts, okay? You're here for entertainment, so relax. Anyways, loved Zurich. It was such a change from Berlin. Like, it was the most clean and beautiful city I've ever been to in my life, which like
Just extremely expensive, correct?
yeah, like Switzerland is expensive and I feel like you just have to like accept that going into it. it is what it is. It's a very wealthy city, which I think is why it's so clean and beautiful, because like there's a price point to get you to like enter the city. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But um okay, in all of the bathrooms, they have like these little like almost like dispensers of like Clorox wipes to wipe down the toilet seat in like
Wow.
public bathrooms.
That's phenomenal.
Why don't we have that?
Yeah, that's a great idea. And also, why does everyone always pee on the seats in bathrooms?
Right. Like honestly, don't
Hi.
squat because you're going to pee on the seat and you're not going to wipe it up because you're
Of
rude as hell.
course.
So just sit down.
Just sit down. It's okay. We all know we can't get AIDS from toilet seats. Do you
Right.
not know that by now?
Right.
Like,
Like I'm not going to lie, unless the toilet seat is like horrendous,
yeah,
I'm sitting down.
absolutely. I'm happy I'm not alone in that because so many girls squat and I'm like, that just feels like so much work. Why would you squat?
It's
Just
so
sit down.
much work for what?
Yeah. But anyways, I'm sorry. I digress. It just got me thinking because that's been on my
No,
mind. These are the things I think about at night.
I mean, me too. Keeps me up at night. Um, but yeah, also like public bathrooms everywhere, not just in Zurich, like in all
Ooh,
three of these
dreams
cities.
come true.
But a lot of times, most of the time, you have to pay like €1 to go in, which is
That's fine.
fine.
Yeah.
But then because of that, like they're maintained, they're clean for the most part, I think. I think maybe a few in Berlin were kind of nasty. But also, I think it depends on like what part of the city you're in and stuff. But like, we should have more public bathrooms.
Hmm.
So in Zurich, the highlights, I would say,
Okay.
we went to this like aqua spa that has like thermal baths and jacuzzis, and that was like the morning after we got there. So like the second half of our train ride was pitch black because it gets dark at 4. And so I saw nothing, and then we got to Zurich on Christmas evening and took an Uber right to the hotel, and it was dark and I saw nothing. And so like we get up, grab a coffee, a little croissant, and or like I did. Poor Mark had to like eat fruit cups and like yogurt because he can't eat gluten. So that's for him. And did a little walk over to the aqua spa.
Hmm.
And we got there a little early so we could go up, and they had a rooftop like thermal bath, jacuzzi kind of thing that like took up the whole rooftop. So like while you're still inside, you like walk down the stairs and then kind of swim on out, and you're just like on a roof overlooking the city. There is like the most breathtaking views of the mountains in the distance. Like it was like what you think of when you think of Switzerland. And it was like definitely one of those like pinch me kind of moments. Like I'm so lucky to be here looking at this beautiful view with this man that like is going to embarrass me during this massage, but I love him so much.
Let's get into.
Um, let's get into that, because if you are going to have a massage in Europe, be prepared to have zero modesty. You have
Hmm.
to bear it all and
Hmm.
just lean in. Mark had never had a massage before in his life, so I really threw him into the fire. And
You're
so
like, these
like
are great. These are so easy, so casual.
I was like, you're gonna love it. It's so
Yep.
relaxing. I was not relaxed either. So we walk into the room, and also like it's a very awkward like because like most people in Zurich spoke English, and
Okay.
like we're the dumb people from the USA like not speaking their language. So I'm never gonna like be rude about that. But like they didn't really speak any English. The two masseuses,
Masseuse
masseurs,
guy. Yeah.
Masai. Um,
They're gods now.
so like kind of awkward. And then you walk in the room, and normally they're like, okay, we'll let you settle in and then walk out. Like, no, not there. They're like, okay, here's the bed that doesn't have a sheet on it. Show me some full frontal and lay down. And I was so proud of Mark. He just looked at me, shrugged, whips off his robe.
Yep. He's a proud man. Okay.
But then hops right up on the table, leaves his like awkwardly too big spa slippers on. And the masseuse just walks over and is like, whoop, we'll grab those.
Yeah.
Don't
The
worry
one
about
thing
it.
he leaves on, he's like, I'm gonna keep these fuzzies on, okay?
Yeah. He's like, I'm cold. And then they like It's also like a not like a comfortable spa bed like they do here where they like tuck you in, you know what I mean?
Yes,
Like,
that's what I love, like the heated,
yeah, it
like
was definitely heated, but it was kind of like it just like wasn't a covered bed. Like it was kind of this
yeah.
weird like rubbery material.
Okay.
And then they place a sheet on you, but it's like one of those like Turkish like beach blankets. So like thin, very thin. And so they lay it on you and you're like, whew, I'm safe. And then they fold it up into the tiniest little square that just barely covers your vagina. Like just barely, you know? I'm like, is my labia hanging off the side? Who knows? It was alarming. So hilarious. And then when they have me roll over, titties out. I got a full breast exam in Zurich. So now I can call up my doctor and cancel my appointment and be like, don't worry. She didn't tell me I had any bumps or lumps. We're doing good. So that was
That
Zurich.
is so comical. I love that.
But still, highly recommend. You also can go and like not get a massage. That's fine also. Um, okay.
This is super inappropriate, but I'm just gonna ask it anyways because
Yeah.
it's a conversation I've had with my friends. So let's just put it on the internet for everyone to hear.
Mm.
One of my friends asked me one time if couples massages were like meant for like sexy time. Like, do you
Mm.
think that without having to tell me if you have personally done this, like, do you think couples massages are meant for couples to like get in the mood together?
Okay, so here's the thing. I thought like maybe, like not that we were gonna like go home and bone after, but like, ooh, we're gonna like it's gonna be like sexy and romantic.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Right. Yeah.
It
Okay.
wasn't.
Because my friends have told me that their friends, and this is actually a fact, have like
Mm.
had sex before or after the massage, like
In the massage room?
in the massage room. Yeah. And I'm like,
No, I'm too afraid for
that
that.
is crazy. No,
Yeah,
thank you. I'm
no.
not gonna sleep. Are you kidding me?
And like so slippery. It feels like an injury waiting to happen.
I'm like, let's go, hurry up.
Yeah. No, no,
But
no,
I
no,
wouldn't
no,
be
no.
surprised in Europe, everything goes. So who knows?
I mean, if it hadn't been such like a reputable spa, I would not have been surprised with the way that they acted if they were like, so now we have the sex.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
Imagine they're like, now you have 8.5 minutes, so go.
Right. Like, "Ugh, what? No, no, no.
Okay. I'll let you
Yeah.
keep going.
Good for them though. Good
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah.
Okay, and then must visit if you are going to Switzerland. Like I definitely want to go back and see more like cute little villages and towns and all that. Like Zurich you can do in like 2 days flat. It's a small
Okay.
city, super doable, definitely worth going. Like I found it to be beautiful and like lots of fun, good stuff to see, good food. Um, but we took a 40-minute train ride to Lucerne, which is like a little lakeside town, but it's also surrounded by mountains. So it has like a lot of history within the town. It kind of feels like you've been like picked up and plopped back in time. So fun to just like walk around and look around. We kind of gave ourselves our own little like walking tour. And then from there, you take a 20-minute bus ride to the base of Mount Pilatus and you can do a gondola right to the top of the mountain, which was like the favorite part of Switzerland. Like it was just so breathtaking, like exactly what you think of when you think of Switzerland. Like you feel like you're on top of the world. If you're afraid of heights, do not look down. Highly recommend.
Great. Love it.
Cool. Okay, from there we took the train to Paris. It was a quick little 4-hour train ride. Which also like when I first booked these, I was like, oh, already dreading these long ass train rides.
Yeah.
No, loved them. Like on the way to Zurich, you're so comfortable. They have a bar, they have food that's like, yeah. But I read a whole entire book,
Yeah, that's awesome.
which like I was like, Mark, do not look at me, don't not talk to me. I am inside of this book right now. And then on the way
Yes.
to Paris, I watched Emily in Paris like the basic bitch that I am. It was great.
I love that. Love that.
Okay, so Paris, back to chaos, like chaos and dirtiness. The
Okay.
second the train doors opened, we both were like, we are not in Zurich anymore. Oh my
Okay.
God, like just madness, mayhem.
It's funny because like when you think of Paris, you think of this big romance and whatever, but I've actually heard that Paris has like pretty like rough areas. Is that true?
I think so. I mean, it was like it's funny even like on the train, like like the MBTA like comes over the speaker with their like announcements.
Yeah.
Every metro train has an announcement about like watching out for pickpocketers. Like pickpocketing is definitely a big thing there.
Okay.
Um, like I think because there's just like more homeless people, so it's
Yeah.
dirtier. Like the train was like more chaotic, like busier in certain areas. So
Okay.
less peaceful of an experience
Okay.
as Zurich, but
Yeah.
like still lovely, like
Okay.
nonetheless. Um, you definitely should learn some French before you go. I waited until I was on the train to Paris to watch YouTube videos of all of the phrases that you need to know, which I then wrote down on a note in my phone, which I don't really know where it is, but I can say bonjour and I can say j'aimerais sancerre, which means I would like sancerre. And
Je m'appelle Amanda.
je
My name is
m'appelle Amanda.
Mandy.
And what was the last one? Oh, santé, which is cheers. Oh, and um, okay, say trouve les toilettes. Where's the toilet?
Ooh, perfect.
Important stuff. But yeah, people are kind of rude to you if you don't at least say like bonjour.
Yeah.
um, but like no one was that mean. Like everyone was so rude there. They hate Americans, and everyone was like pretty nice.
Okay.
Like there's some people that are kind of like they're just like about
Right.
us, but like everyone was fine.
Okay.
I want to live like the Parisians live and start every day with a delicious coffee and a delicious chocolate
Cigarette.
croissant and one cigarette. Besides the cigarettes, which also were wildly popular in Paris as well. Less so indoors, but they're still everywhere.
Mhm.
Okay, some highlights from Paris for
Mhm.
anyone that's wanting to go. Do some secondhand shopping. Oh my God. If you just like Google the best like vintage shops, you'll find like there are so many good ones in the city. There's an area of the city that I don't remember what it's called, but like literally like streets and streets of just vintage and secondhand shops. Like you can find so much cool stuff. Maybe I'll make a little TikTok of like my vintage
Ooh, I
finds.
love that. I'm also taking notes because I'm going to do rapid fire on you after this because I'm having so many fun thoughts. Keep going.
Okay, fun. We also went to again, like these are things that like just Google it and Google will tell you because like I don't know the names of them. But we went to like one of the biggest flea markets, I want to say in France or like Europe in general. Like we were there for hours and probably saw like a quarter of it. It's just like streets and streets and streets of like a flea market, but like imagine like what is it called? The Brimfield Fair or whatever. That's like a secondhand like fair in Massachusetts. That on steroids and all of their vintage stuff or like secondhand stuff looks like it's from a museum. Like they're all
Mhm.
like actually old with history. It was just very cool and like so fun to bop around. Um and something fun to do that like wasn't super touristy. And the touristy things that we did do that I definitely think you should do. We went to a Moulin Rouge show. So
Mhm.
much fun. Like, I feel like multiple people before were like, "Well, you're probably not gonna want to do one of those, right?" And I was like, "I already booked it,
Yeah.
bitch."
I want to see the tats.
Yeah, like I want to see some tatas and like whatever. It was so
Okay.
fun. Honestly, there like I had so many impressive acts. It was like such an entertaining show.
Yeah.
Your partner gets to see some titties. Mark doesn't get to see a lot of titties all the time. Like I don't have much.
I
So
don't have
that was like
any.
my wedding gift to him. Here you go. Um
I love
yeah,
that.
that's good. And I would suggest don't do it the night before your flight
Mhm.
because we booked the like 11:30 show which really started at like midnight and then I
That's insane.
thought you got it's
Just
way
wait
too late. I'm so
for
tired.
what you're thinking of, but that's okay. Keep going.
Wait, what?
I don't know how you did that. Like, why? Why would you do that to yourself?
I don't know. It was dumb. Both of us were like, well, we're just gonna sleep on the plane. That'll be perfect. And then I thought it came with a glass of champagne. It came with a bottle of champagne. So I felt so horrible on the flight home. It was awful.
Mhm.
But worth it. It was fun.
Yeah,
And
that's a
then if
great
you're gonna do
benefit.
New Year's Eve in Paris, which was a dream, coming from someone that is normally a bed at 9 p.m. on New Year's Eve, um, it was definitely worth it to do something like that. And I like said that to Mark, and he was like, "Oh yeah, either nothing on New Year's or dinner in Paris. Those are the two options." I'm like, "Yes, that's what I mean."
That's so fun.
But it was really fun. We did the Bateau Mouche like dinner cruise, which was like a 5 course meal. Like it was like lovely food, and you just are on this like 2 hour cruise along the river. So just a beautiful way of seeing the city. And nice to kind of like not be fighting the crowds. We were in one spot the whole night. And our hotel was near the Arc de Triomphe, so like that's where they do like their like Times Square kind of New Year's Eve thing. And I would have died if I had to be in that crowd on New Year's Eve, and some people are into that, and I am not one of them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, highly recommend those things. But okay, quick little takeaways, and then I'll shut up because I've been talking
Yes.
so much.
Oh,
I'm so annoyed with myself already. Can't wait to edit this. um, but like, I feel like we did a really good combination of hitting some of the touristy things. Like, we didn't do a ton of museums in Paris because we knew it was a busy week in the city, being like with the holidays and everything. And we just didn't want to be stuck inside museums, like just shuffling in a crowd for hours on end. Like, we wanted to just be like walking around and like popping into cafes, and
right.
I'm glad that we did it that way. We did go to the Orsay and saw like Monet's water lilies and like the Degas like ballerina girls, and that was really really cool to see. So I found like that to be worth it. Um, but after being in that crowd of people shuffling through that museum, I was very happy to not go to another one. And also if you Google like the city that you're in, you can find really good like self walking tours that are like programmed into Google Maps. And then like we'd like pick a neighborhood. Mark would find it on his phone, and then we would like walk through, and it would have like the description built into Google Maps,
Mm,
tell me all about it, and then we'd like keep on walking, and it was such a fun way to like see the city but like actually still like appreciate what you're looking at and stuff. Um, okay. Two last things.
okay.
One, I realize again, I want to become a minimalist. I own too many clothes and I always overpack. And one of my proudest life's moments was that I went on this 2 week trip with a carry on and a backpack.
Wild.
So basically, I'm better than everyone else.
But it's just like for shoes. Like I've talked to you about this, but like shoes are always the bulky item. How
Oh my
many pairs
God.
of shoes did you bring?
That was definitely hard because also, like, you're going to Europe, you want to like look cute.
Right.
But with the shoes, pack for comfort. I
Yeah.
brought a pair of cute sneaks.
Mhm.
Um, and then like more comfortable boots that I feel like I could dress up or dress down. Like they didn't really have like a big heel or anything, so I could walk around in them all day. Um, and then I stupidly brought like a pair of like kitten heels that I thought I would wear on New Year's Eve. Like I literally packed them just for the one night. And then we had to walk and like take the train to get there. So I could not wear these kitten heels that like fall off my feet. So those took up space for no goddamn reason.
I'm also judging you that you own kitten heels. Like I need to see what these actually look like.
They're the
No.
ones I wore for my rehearsal dinner. They were like black.
I don't know. You need to post them on social media because kitten heels
Okay,
are out.
listen.
And I don't know if you knew this, but
No, kitten heels are back.
okay, well, they have to be a specific one because
I mean,
I'm
I agree.
like,
Kitten heels are,
okay,
there's a fine
we'll
line.
be waiting to see what these bad boys look like.
I'm
Okay.
afraid. I don't want to.
Just
Um,
Amanda for her king heels. Just
like
kidding.
judge me. Can heels in or out? That's gonna be my next week.
No, they're
Like,
definitely
so I'm
like
asking for a
trending,
friend.
but they have to be a specific one. So
No,
I
they
have
have to, or else they are like
okay.
Susie from accounting. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, yeah, absolutely. But so yeah, shoes, that was a really hard thing. And then also packing for the winter, sweaters are bulky as hell.
Yeah.
So what I tried to do was like pick a few staple items and then
Mhm.
like I made up outfits before like while I was packing. I was like, okay, this can go with this, it can also go with this, and like we kind of put
Yeah.
them together. And then I bought those like airtight bags that like
Mhm.
come with the pump. So you like suck all the air out of it and it like shrinks it down a little bit. So I put
Yeah.
all my sweaters in there,
So smart.
which was hell on earth. Like,
Sure.
honestly, don't do what I did and bring an actual fucking suitcase. And that way, in between each city, you're not like sweating profusely, stressed to the max, like horrible.
Yeah,
But still, I did it.
you did it.
And then the last one was just like, I feel like anytime you go on a big trip like this, you kind of come back with this like renewed sense of like, I need to focus on what's important in life. Like, why am I spending all my time working and not doing things that I like? And that is definitely a sense that I had coming back. Um, and after almost a full week back, or I mean, it's been a full week back, um, I feel like I've been really trying to be intentional of like not letting myself get to the point where I was last year of like hyperstimulation and jam packing every day, like writing the longest to-do list. Like, if it doesn't get done, if I can't fit it in, then like it wasn't meant to get done today. And maybe I should be re-looking at like my commitments
Definitely.
because it's
Yeah,
not worth it.
for sure. It's a good way to look at it.
So,
I love it.
for those of you who lasted this long,
Ugh,
thank you.
well, guess what? It's not over because I was like, I want to do rapid fire because you were saying
Okay.
such good things, and I was like, I'm gonna make her stress out. Here's my
You're like
rule.
kitten heels or ballet flats?
You cannot give explanations, and
I'm so bad at that.
you can't actually talk. You have to just give phrases or words to answer my rapid fire.
You
Can you?
know, I love the sound of my own voice.
No. No, you're just anxious like me. I'm the same way, but I'm making you do
Yeah.
this.
Okay.
No, I'm gonna yell
Okay.
at you.
Fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Number one, favorite city that you visited. Don't talk it out.
Zurich.
Okay. If you had to go again, what would be the length of time you would go?
Like to the same like itinerary, same
Yeah.
cities.
Yeah.
Honestly, 2 weeks was the sweet spot.
Okay.
Like I was ready to go home.
If you had to
Kind
live
of.
one of those places, which one would it be?
I'm sorry, what?
If you had to live in one of the three places, which one would it be? If you had to establish your life there.
I mean, if I am a bajillionaire, I'm fucking
You are.
living it up in Switzerland, bitch.
I'm
But
totally.
realistically, Paris.
Okay. Best food. Where?
Hmm. Probably Paris.
That makes sense. Airbnb or hotels when traveling?
Hotels.
Oh, okay. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I feel like okay. I'm also a hotel galley.
Yeah. Like,
Um,
especially, like, I'm sorry, I have to explain this one.
yeah.
Airbnbs. I'm not trying to do fucking chores on my vacation. Get a grip.
Yes.
I'm paying a $500 cleaning fee. Strip your own bed.
Yes,
Strip
honey.
your own bed. I'm
Also, shout
over
out my
it.
Wolfboro Airbnb. You don't have to strip the beds. Anyway,
Sign
if you're
up.
looking for a good little getaway to Wolfboro.
Caitlin sneaks in the afternoon and places chocolates on everyone's
Yeah.
pillows.
Okay. Dance in Moulin Rouge or another Zurich massage?
um, I could never, I did not grow up in a naked household. I could never be titties out the way those girls are. Like, I am so impressed by them. Another Zurich massage.
Um, I'm going to ask you this one, and I feel like you're going to be mad at me for it, but I'm going to anyways. Where do you think, what city had like the rudest citizens?
Hmm. Okay. Probably Paris, but I will say sorry, I know I'm not supposed to explain things, but I feel like this is like a good note
Yeah.
of just like showing us how selfish we are in the US. Like we are constantly just thinking of ourselves. Like, how can I get to the next place faster? Fuck everyone around me. Sorry, Auntie Debbie, I'm swearing so much in this episode. Um, but like, if they're at a crosswalk in, I feel like all three of these cities, mostly Germany and Zurich, but definitely Germany, they're rule followers. If they're at a crosswalk and they do not have the walk sign going, even if there's no one coming, they're waiting.
Mm,
And if you, because you wait your turn. And
yeah.
if they go, like people will call you out, like, what are you doing?
I love that.
And
It
they're
makes
polite. Like on the train, people were like polite.
okay. No more of this. Stop it.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
I'm done.
Say one word in German, Swedish, and French. So one word, it can't be hi.
Okay, I have words.
No, one word, German.
Dankeschön.
What does
Thank
that
you so
mean?
much.
Okay. Swedish.
So they don't speak Swedish in Switzerland because that's
Oh,
Sweden.
okay.
However,
That's what I
they
meant.
speak like a
They speak.
weird
Okay.
yeah, it's like a weird dialect of German,
Okay.
which I didn't really learn, but I can tell you this word, which I liked a lot, Flammkuchen, which means flame bread, which basically means pizza.
Wow. That actually sounds kind of German too.
Yeah, like you have to
Clearly, I need
choke
to
on
get
it a
out
little.
much that they don't speak Swedish in Switzerland because it's
I
not
mean,
Swedish.
that's what I thought.
Okay.
I was like,
Thank
what is the
you for not
Swiss
judging me.
language? I
I'm
did
like,
not. I had to Google it.
they take swishes. Okay. And then French. You sounded pretty good when you were talking about your things in French already.
Okay, another word for cheers. Chin chin.
Ooh, I like
Right?
that.
So cute.
All right, only two more. If you had to add one city during that trip, which one would it be?
Ooh. I think another like Switzerland city, maybe like Interlaken or like Grindelwald or something, like getting more into like the mountains.
Okay. And then the last one. If you had to have one person come with you along this whole trip, other than me, and Mark is already there, who would it be?
Oh my God.
I know.
How do I choose?
I know.
Ooh, I wonder. Okay, this is gonna be a really good test of like who listens to the podcast.
Yes.
Um, honestly, okay, like not on my honeymoon because that would be weird, but like my mom.
Oh, that's sweet.
Like we would have so much fun together, and like she deserves to see the whole entire world.
I love that.
Anyways,
That was all I had. Sorry, I was so mean to you. I just had to be.
I mean, no, please whip me into shape.
All right. That is
That's
all
fun.
she wrote. Sorry. This was long, of course,
Yeah,
but
LOL that we thought like we're gonna do this in 30 minutes.
that's crazy. Okay. All right. Well, we'll see you next week, friends. And that's all she wrote.
See you next week. Follow us on TikTok, follow us on Instagram, watch on YouTube. Love you. Bye.
Bye.